What's good, people? We are back. It's your man Animal Brown. This is another episode of With That Being Said. This is the only hip hop game show, man, where you get points for your hot takes. I got three of my people in the building. I got Deborah Rocks, I got Chris Dog, and I got Dame Diddy. You know how we get down. It's 7 rounds. We debate each round. Whoever wins gets a point. Whoever has the most points at the end of the show gets the W. All right? Now, without further ado, let's take it down south to Atlanta. The Revolt Conference just wrapped up in the A. You know, that's Diddy's joint. Killa Mike, there was a video of him that went viral of him debating, amongst others, T.I. and a whole bunch of other people. Let me ask you, Dame, is Killa Mike the leader of the new voices when it comes to politics and hip hop merging?
Absolutely, man. I love Killa Mike. Killa Mike is always talking that shit. You can catch him on Bill Maher, always putting Bill Maher on blast. He's been on the Young Turks doing that. Killa Mike always comes through. He has the smart thing to say. He breaks it down in a way that most people that know any type of history can understand. I love Killa Mike. I love the fact that he's supporting Bernie Sanders. I'm rocking with Killa Mike.
Chris Dog, are you on Killa Mike's side when it comes to this political talk?
Killa Mike is a beast in the game right now when it comes to politics. He's doing things that no other rappers have really done. Some people stepped out there and talked about it, but the fact that his boots are on the ground and he's actually making moves and showing that it's a thing to be involved in politics for people in our culture is an excellent look. He needs to definitely keep it up. The form that he had when he was talking with T.I. and what's my man from Mississippi? Good Lord.
David Banner.
David Banner was excellent. They had excellent rebuttal. T.I. was the weakest link at the time, but Killa Mike did his thing. He's professional. He shows us the right way to do it. I don't always agree with him, but I can appreciate his point of view.
Deborah, do you trust Killa Mike as the voice representing the people?
Killa Mike is definitely a revolutionary for our time. I do agree with that. I think he has a voice for the Atlanta people as far as the trap culture. I think he definitely shines a light to people who don't understand politics, and he simplifies that for people. A lot of my students are big followers who don't know their history, and that's one thing that's a struggle for us black people, because we love to sit here and play follow the leader. Don't really know all the facts all the time, but yet whoever is the most popular person at the forefront be the main one they want to follow. But Killa Mike definitely giving them facts and giving them the historical background, and a lot of kids are definitely getting into like the political atmosphere and are actually making a decision on who they think would be the best candidate for them going forward.
Shout out to Killa Mike, man. Everybody got the answer right. How can you not like Killa Mike in these type of forms? He can do Revolt, he can do Drink Champs, he can do CNN. Like, he's probably the most versatile when it comes to this, and he knows what he's talking about. We all trust him, include me in that. A point for everybody. If I was waiting on somebody to say, nah, I don't rock with Killa Mike like that, he need to stop talking, then we would just ended the show when we all went home. A point for everybody for the first time in this 3-man show history, all right? Now, let's move on to topic number 2. The nominees for the BET Hip Hop Awards are in. It's for the MVP nominees. Let me read them off. We've got Cardi B, DJ Khaled, Drake, J. Cole, Megan Thee Stallion, Nipsey Hussle. Now, based on these nominees, if 2019 ended today, Chris Dog, who would be the MVP of the year?
Hands down, it's Megan Thee Stallion. Her music is moving better than everybody else. Everybody's rocking with her, whether it be male, female, grown-up kid, old school. It doesn't matter. Everybody's feeling her. She has the appeal. If I was going off lyrics alone, I may go another way, but total picture, Megan Thee Stallion is definitely the MVP right now, 2019.
Deborah, do you agree? Is Meg the MVP so far?
No, I had to swallow a little spit with that one, because it's a tough one, because it's definitely some strong candidates. But I do believe that Nipsey Hussle would probably get it for the most part, just because of the sympathy vote. I do think he's definitely a lyricist, and he has some some bops or whatnot. But I think people would definitely go with Nipsey Hussle.
Dame, if you had a vote, who would you vote MVP right now?
First of all, I just want to point out that I don't respect the BET Awards or anybody that they nominate. for any, because they always give it to the wrong person, in my opinion. Nipsey Hussle should have got it last year, but they dropped the ball on that and had to nominate him this year because they dropped the ball on that. With that being said, I'm going to give it to Cardi B. And the reason why I'm giving it to Cardi B is because the press video is crazy. She got her husband dancing. Like, who would have thought you would have saw Offset doing choreography on stage, doing anything? And not just that, not only is she helping herself, blowing Fashion Nova up, selling everything out with Black Fashion Nova, she is out here passing the baton and making most people pay attention to other female MCs that they didn't even know were popping and were actually fire out here. Like Chica, Rap City, like Doja Cat. Like, she was out here dropping names, and she ain't Nicki. She wants everybody to be successful. She's here to share the baton with everybody.
Now, here's the thing. Cardi B has put out a single or two, but has not put out a full project yet. It'll be tough for me to give her the MVP for this year just off of her selling Fashion Nova clothes. Although she is hot, and when she does drop a project, it will probably go up. Now, with that being said, it's close. Chris Dog, you said Meg Thee Stallion. Deborah, you said Nipsey Hussle because of the sympathy vote. Man, it's close. I'm going to go Chris Dog because I do feel that Meg is the true MVP.
2019, we talked.
That's very true, but you know how BET get down. You know how most of these award shows get down. They're usually a year late with the process. But I will give this because the true MVP, because I agree with you, so anytime that happens, my bias will take over, and you will get the point. So we're going to go Meg Thee Stallion, even though we got to give my boy DaBaby some props, too. He's been on fire as well this whole year.
DaBaby, he went on the list, though.
That is true, he wasn't. We need to write that in. That's what, Deborah, we're going to write that in to BET. Add my boy DaBaby on the list. Now speaking of DaBaby, he has a project coming this fourth quarter along with a lot of big hitters. Let me read off the list. Allegedly, we've got Rihanna, Drake, The Weeknd, and the Migos dropping this fourth quarter, as well as Kanye with his Jesus is King project. My question to you, Deborah, who will be the next big artist do you think that will drop first in this last fourth quarter year?
I'm gonna go with Rihanna because I'm part of the Navy, and I'm just sorry. Like, Rihanna put up, she was at the Legends Ball not too long ago, and she with Pharrell, and she did a little snippet. She barely even knew the words. Everybody reposted that video, download. Everybody sitting here in the group chat still talking about Rihanna. So the Navy is waiting for Rihanna to drop this album. She can sit here and breathe on the microphone, and folks gonna sit here and buy it.
That's true. She's got heavy influence. Dame, who do you think is gonna be the next heavy hitter to drop?
I think it's pretty obvious, man. It's going to be Drake. He came out, he told the mayor to get the Wi-Fi up so he could get them Boy Wonder beats. And not only that, after he dropped his last album, he already said he was cocked and loaded with a whole nother album as soon as he signed his new contract. So I think Drake is ready. I think people are starting to feel like Drake ain't been holding up his end of the deal as being a top tier rapper. And I think he's coming out with something to prove this time with this next project.
Okay. Chris Dog, who do you believe will be the next A-lister to drop?
Who drops doesn't really matter to me. If Drake drops, he's going to take the crown like he always does. And Rihanna will be a close runner-up to number 2 because I just love her so much. The Migos are going to be hot. Everybody going to rock to them. But as far as dropping albums, when Drake drops, everybody else moves out the way. It's just the way it is in the rap game for the past 10 years. So
I've got a question from all three of y'all. I'm gonna start with Deborah. Do we get a Kendrick Lamar album before the end of the year?
I would love that because he actually been kind of asleep. He been dormant a little bit. So I would definitely like for Kendrick to wake the kids up, like, for real. Okay. Chris Dog, do we get a Kendrick?
I would like to get a Kendrick, but if I'm referring back to an old show going against Bougie, Brother Sean, I think we had this debate previously, and I already said that I didn't think he was going to drop one, nor does he need to drop one. So I'm going to stick on that wave.
Dame, do we get that K-Dot?
I think we get K-Dot at the top of the year. I think we'll get somebody else, probably Ab-Soul, because Ab-Soul hasn't dropped anything in a while. So I think before the end of the year, we'll probably get Ab-Soul, a teaser for Kendrick, like in December, like leading into the new year, and then I think he'll drop that heavy hitter at the beginning of the year.
All right, Dame, I got to get this one to you. The sixth god is up next. Drake, Drizzy, he's heating up. He's been relatively quiet this year. The Raptors winning the championship bought him some time to chill out. He could put a little 2-pack out or whatever he called it, the championship pack. but best believe Aubrey will be here to dominate the fourth quarter. I agree. I think he drops out of the blue with probably about a 3 or 4 day notice any day now. I'm calling it now. I'm with you on that. Now, before we get to this good look, bad look, or no look, let's take a pause for the cause, man. Pay some bills, all right?
Hey, bro, I see your beard been growing. What you been using?
Hey, what maestro?
Hi, I'm using Coils by nature. It's all in my bed. I like how I feel, and it coming like 4 different flavors. I see that it's growing and it's looking healthy, man. You made me feel like a baby. I'm trying to get like you, man. Stop it. No, for real, man. I gotta go cop it. So tell me a little more about it. You know I got you, cause you gotta try it. I'm black on business and they rockin'. At Coils by nature, go follow. You start with the cleanse it and wash it. And next you gon' need to detox it. And then it's the oils, the butter, and they even got beard and face moisturizer. I play.
We are back, it's your man Animal Brown. With that being said, you know what time it is. Good look, bad look, no look. Let's talk Dreamville Records. EarthGang, the popular group out of Dreamville Records, dropped their debut on the label. It was called MIRRORLAND, all right? Good look, bad look, no look. Dame, how'd that MIRRORLAND album sound to you?
Look, the first time I listened to it, man, the first thing I thought was OutKast, OutKast, OutKast. But soon as I actually read an interview, what they tried to accomplish with this album, they said they were watching The Wiz a lot. They were trying to do what the Wiz soundtrack would sound like if it was from Atlanta, like on the way to the strip club. When I put that in context and listened to the album, I'm like, yo, they was spot on with that. Like, this joint really sounds like the Wiz soundtrack. I love the Wiz. I've watched the Wiz a lot. And then I think Olu is actually the star of that group. They're both actually really good, but he's just really eccentric, and he's what's reminding people of OutKast, really. Because people are comparing him to Andree 3000, more so about like his style and swag. But I think the album is amazing, man. I love that joint.
Chris Dog, how'd you feel about that MIRRORLAND? Were you rocking with it?
It's a good album. It was funky. If I say anything else, it was funky. It had similarities to old school OutKast albums, but lyrically, I don't even know why we talking about them in the same subject. They're okay. I see where they were going with it. It wasn't my vibe personally. I think they're just okay, so I'm gonna have to just stick on that part when it comes to them. Both rappers are decent.
Okay, all right. Deborah, how'd you feel about EarthGang's debut on Dreamville?
I wasn't feeling it at all. The comparison to OutKast really shut the whole thing down. But I sat there and listened to the music, and I was like, okay, they got some bops, they got some hits. But as far as the comparison to OutKast, I say no. And the lyrics, not there either. Like, they missing the mark. I mean, they're talented boys, don't get me wrong. And I support the movement, but I still don't think like there's still some more that need to be done with I guess, EarthGang.
Yep.
So, it was a no for me.
I'm with you. I wasn't feeling it. You know, I'm not going to just sit here and be like they can't rap or they trash or nothing of that nature. But the music did not relate to me at all for whatever reason. It did not hit. Dame, nice try bringing up the Wiz, but I've never seen it. So therefore, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know that feeling that you're referring to. Going to the strip club with the Wiz, I don't know. I know the OG Wizard of Oz, but I never saw the Wiz.
That's crazy.
I know my black card will probably be revoked across YouTube. One of these days, I'm going to get to it. And maybe it's on Netflix. I'll check it out this weekend or something. But I got to get that one to Deborah. She was spot on. I feel the exact same way about the album, word for word. Now, back to EarthGang. Y'all mentioned earlier about the OutKast comparisons. Even the social media maven Yes Jules came out and said that they reminded her of OutKast if it was two Andres. Deborah, you kind of told me that that's not really the case. What if it was two Andres? Do they sound more like that type of OutKast vibe? And do you take that as a shot at a shot at Big Boy?
That's definitely a shot at Big Boy, because you're trying to dismiss what he brought to OutKast. Regardless of what anybody say, I'm from Atlanta, I'm a Georgia Peach, I'm a ride for the home team all day long. So don't do OutKast like that. That's blasphemy. So with that being said, Andree brought what he brought, Big Boy brought what he brought. So Andree's the lyricist, not saying Big Boy not, but Big Boy definitely is the whole Atlanta vibe, regardless of what anybody has to say. So you can't sit here and say it wouldn't be an OutKast if it was just Andree and just two Andrees. Like, it wouldn't be an OutKast. So why would you even say something like that?
That's a fair
like,
point.
I want to smack her. Like, don't do that.
That's a fair point. Chris Dog, let me ask you, is EarthGang this generation's OutKast?
Not at all. There will never be another OutKast. OutKast stands alone. They're above anything that you could ever come up with as far as duos go, especially when it comes to rap. There's a couple people that I could think of that come up close, maybe UGK, 8-Ball, MJG. I'm going real old school here, but when we talk about duos in the rap game, you have to bring it. And these guys haven't even submerged from the waters. There's nothing. And we were talking about OutKast being at the tip of the iceberg, so please stop it. God, please, stop.
Dame, do you hear OutKast when you hear EarthGang?
I hear the Idlewild sound. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Idlewild sound, kind of like that kooky, funky sound that's kind of a little crazy. But that's kind of what they did with that Wiz sound. If you actually heard the 3 EPs before that, they were completely different. They didn't sound anything like the album. They're actually spitting on those. This was more so along the lines of Follow the Wiz. I don't think EarthGang is this generation's OutKast. I think EarthGang is just this generation's EarthGang. Like, I think they're carving out their own niche. Yeah, their sound is reminiscent of OutKast, but you tend to pick up traits from artists that you grew up messing with your entire life. They from Atlanta. I'm pretty sure they grew up on OutKast. So some of that is in there, just in their blood, just being from here. I don't think they're trying to copy them, though.
That's a good point. All of y'all make solid points. But Deborah said she wanted to smack Yes Jules, and I'm scared that she's going to do that. So I'm going to give her a point so that no violence ensues. All right, we're going to keep it cool. I gave you the point. Don't put no pressure on Yes Jules. We're going to let her live, even though she was bullshitting with them statements, though. Now, let's talk top 50 lists. I know everybody saw it. Sweeping the Twitter nation, somebody put out a top 50 rappers of all time list. They had Andree 3000 as numero uno. My question is, I'm gonna start with you, Chris Dog. Is Andree 3000 number one top rapper of all time? Is he even top rapper out of Atlanta?
That's nonsense to put him at number one. Andree is great in his own respect. He has skill sets that are diamond in the rough-esque because he has never dropped a solo album. He's never dropped a solo. His only partial solo album included Speaker Box right next to it, which was just as hot as Love Below. It was just in a different tempo and a different vibe. I love Andree, but I cannot put him in a top spot. I'm still gonna have him in my top 10 just off the things that he says and his lyrical content, but as far as number one goes, we're not even having that conversation. That was crazy.
Top 50 rapper list, Deborah, was Andree number one legitimate?
I do agree. I told you I'm a diehard Atlanta person, so Andree 3000 is it for me. Even though he has not put out a solo album, it doesn't matter. The masses still flock to Andree, regardless of what he do. They waiting for him to put out an album. So with that being said, like anytime, like as far as even with the Centennial Olympic Park, they had a concert. Everybody, the old and the young, was out there at that park. You couldn't even breathe. So with that being said, everybody was happy to see Andree because they thought he wasn't coming, but he actually came. So everybody is rushing on like pins and needles, waiting for Andree. Like, so you can't sit here and say that he's not the top. Like,
yes, I can.
I don't agree with that because he is. I mean, that's your opinion, just like it's mine. So you don't have to agree with it. But I'm just saying, like, for me being Atlanta, Andree is it for me.
Diddy, Dame, where we at with it, man? Who's numero uno on the top 50 list?
Jay-Z, hands down, no discussion, nothing to talk about with anybody about that. First off, I want to kind of get on something Chris Dog talked about. Look, you take the Love Below off of that Speaker Box album, ain't nobody buying that shit. That Speaker Box album had like 4 songs on it.
Ooh, he hard on that Speaker Box.
But the Love Below was fire. That joint is what sold the 10 million plus albums that album sold. That Speaker Box probably would have sold probably a good 500K without Andree. But Andree is the leader of that group, in my opinion. Yes, he is special in his own way, but everybody knows Andree is the star. He's the better rapper out of the two. Is he top rapper in Atlanta? that's debatable. You know, I think
that's
when
why
you
we're
look
here,
at something
right?
like
Right.
T.I.'s
That's why we're
discography and what he said throughout his career, you could kind of debate maybe T.I., but Andree 3000, and I think the solo album of not rapping is what hurts that there. The Love Below is not a rap album. It's pretty much a popular album with some rapping on it. So if he had a solo rapping album, I think we can have that discussion.
Chris Dog, you dying to jump back in.
Exactly.
We talking about what ifs here. It's both of my competitors to the right and left are talking about what ifs. We talking about what if. We talking about facts here. Who's number one? Who's number one? You gotta
Jay-Z.
prove to be number one.
Jay-Z.
We're not even gonna have that conversation. Not enough time on the show right now to have that conversation.
But I thought we were
it
talking about out
damn
of
sure
Atlanta, so where
is
Jay-Z need to come in the list at?
It's damn sure it's not Andree, and it was just top 50 rappers all time. That was the list, but
True.
Andree is not on that list. He can't be at number one. It's just he doesn't qualify, to be honest.
Now, to be fair, you got to look at qualifications, like you said, and discography has to play a role. And you got one album where you kind of singing, no matter how dope it was and how ahead of its time it was, we talking top 50 rappers of all time, and it's 1,000% Hove. Like, come on, Dame. I was waiting on somebody to say my boy Hove name.
That wasn't the question.
No, it wasn't. But he took that one. He stole the ball from you because you almost had it. He name dropped Hove as being the true number one. That's how you get me. Throw the rock in the air all day long, all right? Now, before we get to this last question, you know how we get down, man. Let's pay a bill right quick. Don't go nowhere. All right, man, we are back. Final round. With that being said, last question. We are keeping it ATL. We are keeping it OutKast. We talking Andree 3000. King Thurs, I'm not familiar with this person, but they may have let it slip that Andree 3000 has a solo album, rap album in the works. What we just got through talking about, he's missing. Now, my question, let me ask you, Deborah. Will we get a true Andree 3000 solo rap album? Do you believe it's going to happen?
I honestly believe it's gonna happen because people are waiting. People are like knocking at the door. Even though he said he never wanted to be a 40-year-old rapper, but he has proven to be so much more than that now. So you can't throw that label at him no more. So it's like, even though I think he's gonna do it just because he got the time. So why not do it? Let me go ahead and give it to the peoples and get up out the door.
Okay, Chris Dog, you think we're going to get that Andree solo?
Not at all. He will never drop a solo album because he can't take missing. He's too good to miss right now. And he said, my competitor said he has the time. He has the time since 1994. He's had plenty of time to put out a solo album. He never chose to do it because that's not his lane. That's why he'll never be the best rapper of all time. But we like when you peek your head in, Andree. I like to see you every now and then downtown in the train station playing your flute, all that good stuff. Yes.
Okay. All right.
No album is going to come. Hold your breath, if you will, and then I'll bury you.
Oh no! Well, you better get ready.
Dame, are you holding your breath for that Andree solo?
Man, we getting that Andree 3000 album the same day we getting Detox from Dr. Dre. It ain't happening. Look, I remember an interview with Andree 3000 when they asked him about a solo album, and he said, you know what? He has a problem with people always running up to him, telling him how great he is. And that puts him in a position where he doesn't feel like he can make a proper album. He needs to be the underdog. He needs people to say, oh man, he can't do it in order for him to creatively do it. And since people in Atlanta, like my two competitors, keep bigging him up, he's never gonna do it. Everybody talks about how great he is. We got people saying he's the greatest rapper out of Atlanta. He doesn't have the inspiration to do it. When you're already being thrown at the top, why would you even bother? All he's doing is risking putting himself lower on the rung when people are already saying he's the best rapper ever out of Atlanta.
Real quick, Deborah, you think it's going to drop? Do we get it this year, or do you think within 1 year we'll see it? Or later?
No, not this year.
Okay.
I think he definitely cooking something up. I definitely think he in the lab for real.
Now let's say this: if he does drop a solo album, will it be better than Big Boy solos? She laughed at Big Boy solo.
Hold on.
Okay.
Don't do it. All right, relax. Lyrically, yes. But see, Big Boy bring his own vibe. They both got their own vibe. So you can't sit here and take that away from them. So Big Boy definitely like the club, want to keep the party going. But, you know, Andree always going to give y'all something to think about. He going to give you, something to slide through. So that's what I'm saying, like, as far as the lyrics go. So I'm not going to compare apples and oranges because that's my fam. But, however, I think Andree definitely going to bring some heat if he decides to.
Dame, if we do get hypothetically speaking, we get an Andree solo album, what do you think it sound like?
Bro, if dinosaurs come back and unicorns start flying and we hypothetically get this Andree 3000 album, I think if he's in there with the Dungeon family, he get with Sleepy Brown, Rico, and they get that sound back popping, I think this joint will be incredible. I think Andree 3000 definitely has the potential, but I don't think Andree would ever focus solely on a hip hop album ever again. Like, I don't think that's where he's at in life. He makes too much money. He's having too much fun. And when you're having that much fun, you can't just make a hip hop album. You're going to be doing other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I had a take in my head when I thought about this question, and I was wondering which one of y'all was going to say that particular take first. And I got to get this one to Chris, dog. Matter of fact, to break the tie, he get 2 points on this because I was sitting there the whole time and I said the reason why Andree has not dropped is because he already has the mystique and the aura around him, and you risk that by dropping an album. If it's less than stellar, then people may take him down off that list, and then you don't see him number one on top 50 when you have a product like that. That's why I think Big Boy doesn't get mentioned, because he's put out subpar solo projects. If he would have never dropped a solo, I think he'd be held in a similar regard if he only dropped in on remixes every once in a while, because he's just as nice. So I got to give Chris Dog that one, the come from behind 2-point finale to break the tie. Give me some words, some better words than the last episode, please, sir.
Oh man, Animal, no, appreciate you being here, Animal. You know, we love that you the host here, bro. And shout out to you. Shout out to Bougie Boy Sean. Shout out to Chris Dog. Shout out to Golf Keith. All my people, man. Appreciate the win.
All right, yeah, okay. Yeah, that was better. I like that. I'm here for that. All right, let's get out of here, man. Again, it's your man, Animal Brown, from my esteemed panel. Shout out to y'all. With that being said, we'll see y'all next time.